Hello there guys, and welcome back to another Forza Horizon 5 video on my channel. So in this video I'm going to be taking you through the spring/hot season of Series 10 in Horizon 5, giving you all the tips and tricks to complete this week's festival playlist challenges and get as many points as you can towards the festival playlist. As mentioned, this is the last week of Series 10, so starting on the 18th of August next Thursday we will be moving on to Series 11, which is Rami's racing history, as you can see here, and there will be loads of new cars and obviously some championships and story based stuff linked to Rami's racing history. If you want to hear more about that, for the official Forza YouTube or Twitch, they've done some streams tonight based on the Series 11 update and general stuff with that, fixes. They fixed the leaderboards a bit. I did manage to watch the first bit of it before I started recording, but I haven't been able to watch the Let's Go stream to do with the festival playlist, so I can't tell you anything. But if you want to check that out, then content creators such as AR12 Nick, JakeXVX will have created summaries on that, and also you can check out the Forza YouTube channel and re-watch the stream to check out all the info regarding Series 11 and Rami's racing history. Unfortunately, I will not be here next week or the week after, so I'll be missing the first 2 weeks of Series 11 in Horizon 5 because I'm on holiday from Monday the 15th until Monday the 29th. So when I get back I'll be completing the challenges from the autumn, but I'll be completely missing the summer season, so any rewards that I want I'm going to have to basically see if I can find any in the auction house, or see if I luckily get gifted one or something like that. That's just unfortunate, that's just how it works, and I'll have to deal with it. But I am here for the last week of Series 10. I'm going to be taking you through all of the challenges, the Hot Wheels events, Forzathon events, seasonal events, the trial, we've got an event lab, the seasonal PR stunts, the championships, and also the treasure hunt photo challenge and these monthly rivals events at the end. I'll be taking you through each of them, giving you tunes and tips to help you unlock the rewards along the way. So the 20-point reward for this week is the Porsche 911 Singer, reimagined by Singer from 1990. This is another returning Porsche from Horizon 4. We've basically had 4 returning Porsches in this series. Not particularly special, however it's probably my favourite out of all 4 of them, just because of the engine sound. It is a really nice engine sound. If you want to unlock that, that'll take you about half an hour, and you can pick and choose some of the events from this video to help you out. For 40 points we have the Vauxhall Lotus Carlton. That is another exclusive, so it can't be bought in the auto show, and it is also quite rare, and that is returning from when it was added at some point in Horizon 5 earlier in the series. Both are really cool cars, and I'll be taking you through all of the 63 available points in this season so you can unlock them as we go along. It's also your final chance to unlock the series rewards, so the number 58 Extreme E McLaren Racing for 80 points, and 160 points is the Razor Tachyon Speed from 2019, the Batman electric weird car that's broken. If you do want to unlock that, if you haven't already, then make sure to watch till the end of the video for that. Okay then, so let's start this off with the Hot Wheels events from the Spring Festival playlist. So firstly we'll be hitting up the Ice Cauldron Drift Zone. This will get you 2 points towards the festival playlist, and also a super wheel spin. Excuse my glitchy controller there, the toggle's a bit broken on it. So for this you'll need anything from S2. Obviously you're not really going to be wanting to use a race build for drifting, so I would recommend using at least something that is able to drift, so not a full grip build for example. If you are using all-wheel drive, make sure it's got plenty of power and like drift or drag or stock tyres or something like that. I've got a couple of tunes to recommend for you for this one, and this is the drift zone here. So it's actually one of the S2 events on the Hot Wheels map in the Academy. I haven't completed it yet, so I think when I complete this I'll be unlocking some more medals. So we need 130,000 points. That is the same as the 1-star objective, so if you get the seasonal objective you also get a 1-star as well if you haven't completed it already. So I'm going to hop in one of my cars now. I'm going to show you the tune, and then we're going to give it a go, and we'll see if I can actually complete it. Okay then, so the first car out of my suggestions, and also the one that I'm going to be running this drift zone in, is the 2016 Ford Shelby GT350R. I actually built this car yesterday on the 300 subs live stream, if you didn't see that, then I'd highly recommend going and checking it out to maybe watch a couple of the highlights from the stream. I do also want to thank you guys for 300 subscribers as well, and if you like these kind of videos, then of course do feel free to subscribe. No pressure or anything, but it would really help me out, and you'll be able to see these videos every week, except when I'm on holiday of course. So it's got 1020 horsepower. It's running stock tyres, which are sport tyres. That was to make sure it went into S2, because otherwise it would be in S1. It's rear wheel drive, and it's got a really nice paint job, so if you want to download the paint job as well, I believe that I shared that one. I think I did anyway, I hope I did. It's quite surprising how good it was. We managed to set a PB on the other one of the S2 class drift zones. So I'm going to be using that for this one. Another car you can use if you prefer all-wheel drive drifting is the Formula Drift number 777 Corvette. So this has got nearly 1600 horsepower. It's running all-wheel drive, as I said, drag tyres, and because it's a Formula Drift you can get some crazy angles with it thanks to its drift setup. If you want to use that, that's also really good. However, I think that rear-wheel drive cars actually easier to drift on the Hot Wheels tracks, because the Hot Wheels tracks are a bit different to normal tarmac, so the way a car grips is actually a bit different. Same thing applies for the two unicorns. So we've got the unicorn V1 and V2, I don't know which is which. Both of them have got 1400 horsepower, and both of them are very crazy drift cars. One of them just has better acceleration than the other. That's pretty much the only difference. Not really sure why there is a difference, but hey ho. So if you want to use either of them, they are also really good drift cars, but also bear in mind that they are all-wheel drive and that they might be a bit more grippy than you would like. So that's all of the suggestions that I've got for this drift zone, so let's go and hit it up. Okay then, so I am starting as far as I could get up this hill without me falling off or rolling back down. I'm going to get a bit of boost off that boost pad that will help me into the zone, but of course I've got to bear in mind I am using the 4-speed drift transmission, and I do get a lot of wheel spin, so I'm going to use this for a bit of a boost. So it boosts up to 200 miles an hour, and then we're going to use that speed to carry us around the corners. We're going to keep it in third because this car performs best in third. I tweaked the gear ratios on stream yesterday to try and make them a bit less awkward than they were at the start. So 130,000 is what we need, so we've already got that. I just want to see if I can maybe get 3 stars. Saves me doing it again afterwards to get the medals. Because it's rear wheel drive, I did just spin it out. That was just basically a lack of anticipation from myself. It's not a particularly hard car to drive as long as you counter steer. It is pretty easy to control for a rear wheel drive car with over 1000 horsepower. That's probably thanks to it being on slightly grippier tyres. It's stock tyres for this one. So that is a seasonal objective completed, and also 3 stars for me. But don't worry about getting 3 stars, all you need is the seasonal objective to get that one completed. Okay then, so the next Hot Wheels event for this one is a seasonal championship. It is called Mini Sampler, and it will get you a Hot Wheels cap and also 5 points towards the festival playlist. For this one you'll need a B-class off-road vehicle, and you'll be running on hazard events, I think, because that's a hazard sprint. So hazard events are basically kind of Hot Wheels version of dirt/cross-country events, basically off-road events, and that's why you'll be using some off-road vehicles. So I've got a couple to suggest for you here, so I'll go head to my garage and show you them now. Okay then, so the first car I've got for this one is the 2014 Ford Ranger T6. This is actually WodeFjandi's tune, so I'll leave his gamer tag in the description because it is a bit of a difficult spelling considering how you pronounce it. You might see him in the comments. Him and Dobra quite often have a competition to see who can get there first, so if you see a comment saying first or beat Dobra or something like that, that is his gamer tag, WodeFjandi. So it's a pretty decent tune actually, more than 500 horsepower from the V8 diesel engine. It does weigh quite a lot. It's also pretty bolty in the corners, but overall it gets the job done. So pretty decent tune. If you want to use one of my tunes, however, then I also have one. Where is it gone? It is there. So the Porsche Macan LPR Rally Raid from 2018. This one is using the 4-litre Vlat 6 from the Porsche GT2, I think. So it's got nearly 500 horsepower. It weighs still over 2 tonnes, but a bit lighter than the Ranger. As you can see, it's running off-road race tyres, the same as the Ranger. Pretty similar builds. However, this one doesn't have as much torque, but it is a bit faster because it's a lighter engine. Both of them cost 250,000 credits in the auto show, which is a bit expensive, but no doubt you'll be able to find them cheaper in the auction. They're not particularly rare cars, if you ask me. Okay then, so moving away from the Hot Wheels and back onto the main map in Mexico, we can move on to the Forzathon events in this week's festival playlist. All of this will work towards some points to be spent in the Horizon Forzathon shop. This week we have the Lotus Evija for 100 Forzathon points when it loads. When you're ready, anyway, the Lotus Evija you will need for the photo challenge and also the Forzathon weekly challenge, which we'll go through in a second. So I would recommend buying that for 100 Forzathon points if you don't have it, because that's a pretty good deal. We've also got the Lola, whatever that is, retro race car for 300 Forzathon points. I'm not sure if it's priced in the auto show, but 300 Forzathon points isn't too bad of a deal for that one. We have the Welcome Spring car horn. I'll give you a little preview of that now. A bit Brittany. I think that would have been more appropriate for Britain rather than Mexico. Then we also have the Extreme E green race suit to finish off the Extreme E kind of series. Okay then, so moving on to the weekly Forzathon challenge, hashtag Daring Innovation. This will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and also 80 Forzathon points or 160 Forzathon points if you own the La Casa Sola Guerra house. I would highly recommend getting that if you don't own it, because it gets you double Forzathon points in any Forzathon related event, including Horizon Arcade, which will pop up in just a minute. So, Chapter 1 then, Featherweight, wants you to own the Lotus Evija from 2020. So essentially, as I just mentioned, it is in the Forzathon shop if you don't own it, otherwise it is in the auto show, I believe, I think. I'm not too certain on that one though. So whatever way you choose to buy it, you need to own and drive the Lotus Evija, and then just go for a bit of a drive and it will pop up to say that the chapter is complete. Then you can move on to Chapter 2, which is called Pure Adrenaline. This wants you to reach 200 miles an hour or 322 kilometers an hour in the Lotus Evija, but specifically in the Dunas Blancas area. So if you don't know where the Dunas Blancas area is, it is over on the west side of the map where all of the sand dunes are. So you can see Dunas Blancas here. So basically anywhere where the map is kind of coloured in the sand colour. So all along this road, kind of the Baja area, all the way up to the Bahia to Plano kind of village there. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that, and it'll also get the first daily challenge completed as well if I pop along here, which wants you to visit Dunas Blancas. You can also combine that with the treasure hunt, which we'll go to later, and the photo challenge. So if you want to see how you can combine that, wait till the end of the video so you can see how to do that. So let's go ahead and do that now then. Okay, so reaching 200 miles an hour in the Lotus Evija is pretty easy, to be honest. So in the Dunas Blancas, just travel along this road and you can see within a matter of seconds there I reached 200 miles an hour. I put the drift transmission in this because it increased the overall top speed and the initial launch. So instead of you having just one gear, you've got 4 gears, so that helps it get to 200 mile an hour quicker as well. And it is incredibly quick, by the way. The instant torque in the Lotus is absolutely incredible. It's got nearly 2,000 horsepower for those of you that didn't know, and 1,700 newton meters of torque, so it is quite powerful. So then, Chapter 3 is called Revolutionary Leap and wants you to earn 10 ultimate air skills. So an ultimate air skill is basically where you're in the air for maybe like 3 or 5 seconds, and this can be earned by basically jumping off danger signs or jumping off humps in the road. And you can get these really easily, but one of the easiest places to get them is on the sand dunes. So essentially, when you're in the Dunas Blancas, you just jump up and down, and if you go over to these sand dunes, you'll be able to get ultimate airs really easy by jumping off these sand dunes, and you just basically need to get 10 of them. So even as little as jump as that will get you an ultimate air skill. That is how easy they are to get. And you just need to get 10 of these, and the easiest place to get them is in the Dunas Blancas, so I'd highly recommend staying around here to complete chapter 3 as well. So once you have done that, you'll be able to move on to the final chapter, which is called Creative Language. This wants you to win a street race in your Lotus Avaya. So basically, on the map, just go to any street race. So I'm not particularly keen on street racing, but if you just filter to street racing and then just pick any of them that's your favourite or that looks the shortest and just basically win it. You can lower the difficulty to tourist if that makes it easier for you. Or whatever the lowest one is, and that's basically it. And doing that will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and 80 or 160 Forzathon points. Okay then, so as previously mentioned, the first daily challenge of this week is simply to visit Dunas Blancas, so you will have done that in the Forzathon challenge if you're doing it in order. If not, you can do that later in the photo challenge or the treasure hunt. That is pretty easy to do. For any other daily challenges that pop up throughout the week, every day at 3:30 PM GMT, let me know if you're having trouble with them, if you think they're bugged, you don't know what they mean, or you're just a bit generally confused. I'll be more than happy to help out, and do remember that these last for 7 days each, so I sometimes find it easier just to wait for a couple of them to unlock and then do them in bunches of 3 or 4 throughout the week. So that means there's no pressure to go on every day, and you can do other things rather than having to focus on doing the daily challenges every day. So remember, all of these points can be spent in the Forzathon shop, or you can save them up like I have. As you can see, I've got nearly 7,000 Forzathon points. I'll have more than that after I've completed the weekly Forzathon challenge. Okay then, so now we move on to this week's seasonal events. So firstly, we have the Horizon Arcade minigames. It's the same as it's always been. You just need to complete any Horizon Arcade theme, and you need to make sure you complete all 3 rounds of it. This will get you 3 points towards the festival playlist and these 30 or 60 Forzathon points that you will get from completing it, depending on whether you own the house or not. So basically, you just need to look out for the pink circles on the map. So as you can see, there's one here that is Chaos, and there is one here that is Drift. Usually there will be a Drift one. It seems that Drift is the most popular. You can end up with Air, you can end up with Wreckage, you can end up with the Simon Says thing, although that might be the Chaos one. And that you just need to go to one of these and complete all 3 rounds of it. Even if you're on your own, they're usually really easy to complete, so do not worry if you're on your own completing them. It'll only take you about 10 minutes. I think you only have 10 minutes to do it anyway, so yeah, it's really quick, and that'll get you 3 points and 30 or 60 Forzathon points. Okay then, so now we move on to the first of the co-op events for this one, although technically you could say that Horizon Arcade is co-op. So this is the trial, and it's called Super Troopers, and it will get you a Lamborghini Huracan Performante and also 10 points towards the festival playlist, so a really good haul of points there. However, do note that you need to be in the Hall of Fame to have this unlocked. If you don't know what the Hall of Fame is, you don't know how to unlock it. I made a guide on it on my channel near the start of the game, so if you scroll back through my videos or find it in one of my playlists, you'll be able to see how you unlock the Hall of Fame very simply there. So for this you need an S1 class modern supercar, and you'll be racing road racing. And do note as well that this is a co-op event, so you'll be racing a team of 6, including you, versus a team of 6 driver tires, and your aim is to work as a team to accumulate as much points as possible by overtaking the driver tires, and you've got to try and beat them overall in a best of 3. So if you and your team win the first 2 races, you don't need to do the third, because then it would be impossible for the driver tires to win, or vice versa. If the driver tires win the first 2 races, then you'll automatically lose. So basically, try to work as a team, try to help out the teammates if they're struggling, and just be aware of rammers, because some people don't realise that it's a team event and you think they're racing against you when they're not, they're racing against the driver tire, so do just bear that in mind. Okay then, so I've actually got quite a lot of cars to suggest for you for this one. I didn't really know I had so many, so I'm going to try and whiz through them as quick as possible. So firstly, we have the Audi R8 V10 Plus from 2016 with the lovely Jack Ultramotive Harley Quinn paint job. This one is more of a power build, kind of. I mean, it's not really that fast, but it doesn't like corners, so I would steer away from this one if you're actually trying to win. Similarly, the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray C8 is kind of a bit of a power build. It's on rally tyres. As you can see, it's got the wide body and the wing, and it's got decent grip, but overall the power and the understeer really makes it more of a straight line kind of car. The Ferrari J50, I did a bit of a test on this one because I couldn't really remember making a tune, so I did a bit of a test. It does have a lot of understeer because it's all-wheel drive and it's on rally tyres, but once you get used to it, it's actually more controllable than quite a lot of cars, so that's a decent choice. The Ford GT is probably one of my best choices with my US paint job. If you want to download that, I greatly appreciate it. This one is quite underpowered compared to the rest of them, but thanks to its massive wing on the back and its race tyres, it can go around corners really, really well. Even though the handling rating is only an 8.2, compared to most cars, it can cruise around corners, and the top speed is actually a bit better than suggested in the statistics there. So overall, that's probably the best one so far. Moving on, we have the Lamborghini Huracan Evo. This is car pass only, so if you don't own car pass, you will not be able to use this one. It's got nearly 900 horsepower. It's not the best, it's more of a purist build, but it more than easily get the job done if you want to use that one. Then we have the 2012 Nissan GT-R R35 Black Edition. This has got the wide body on it, as you can see, as well as my Japan livery. Again, download that if you want to support me. It's a bit underpowered again, and is more focused on the grip side, but overall it's well balanced and very, very easy to drive. The Noble M600, that's a rear wheel drive, 650 horsepower. Again, I can't really remember making this tune, but I do remember it being pretty good, so if you want to use that one, then feel free. And then that is it, I think. Yep, that's it for that one. So pick any of them. I think all of them are available under my gamertag. The Ford GT is probably the best, and then maybe the Noble or something like that. Okay then, so now we move on to the Event Lab, which is by GT Denai, or Denny, or however you pronounce that. I mean, it's spelt Denai, but some people don't know how to spell, so it might mean GT Denny, I don't really know. So this one is called Car Lot Head to Head, and it will get you 3 points towards Festival Playlist, and also a doodle pattern cap. The description of this one is: can you win a one-on-one challenge versus highly skilled drivers around a multi-level parking lot through the built-up streets and prove who is the champion? Should have a question mark next to that, but we won't bring him down on that one. So for this one, you'll need B-Class Anything Goes, so I'm not going to suggest any cars for this one because I don't really know what the event is. I don't know whether it's on-road, off-road, etc. So I'd just pick something that's capable of covering all bases and then just see where you go from there. You're not really doing it competitively, so just make sure that you win. Obviously it says it's against driver tires, so just make sure that you win on that one, and you shall be alright. Okay then, so now we move on to the 2 seasonal PR stunts of this week. So this one is the Desert Dunes Danger Sign, and it will get you 2 points towards the Festival Playlist, and you need, and also a super wheel spin, and you need an S1 class Anything Goes. So I'm going to show you a couple of suggestions, then I'm going to get in one of them and show a gameplay of me doing it. Don't know whether I'll succeed, because usually I fail one of them. You need 340 metres from this danger sign, and if you set the route you can see that you kind of cut through some of the dunes and then jump off, and you'll usually land just before this road here. So you need a car with decent suspension, so you don't want like race suspension or drift suspension. You also need decent amount of power for the run up, and you also don't want it to be too heavy because it's then going to drop out of the sky too quickly. So I've got a couple of cars to recommend for this one, and then we'll go and give it a shot. Okay then, so the options I have for this one are as follows. So we have the Audi RS6 from 2003. This is in my outro video, so you'll see that at the end if you want to see a clip of that one. It's on strange suspension, it's on drag tyres, but the power is really good and it'll just be able to pull through. You've also got the Chevrolet Impala Super Sport. It's really heavy, but it's got nearly 1800 horsepower, so again the power will pull it through on that basis. Then we also have the Ford Escort RS Cosworth. This is quite underpowered with only 668, but it is really light, so I'm not sure whether it will work, but if you're willing to give it a go and risk it, then be my guest and see if it actually covers the distance. Then we have the Hoonigan Escort Cosworth, if you want a bit of a faster version with 840 horsepower. It is a bit heavier, but the power will probably outdo that, and it is just generally a bit better overall than the standard version. The Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, it again really heavy, but similarly to the Crown Vic, the Impala I mean, it has loads of horsepower and off-road tyres, so plenty of grip. And then we also have the 2004 Porsche 911 GT3. It's got max horsepower from the 4 litre flat six that's in this car here. It's on off-road tyres and also off-road suspension. Then we have the Porsche 911 GT3 RS Forza edition, so that's not tuned by me, that is tuned by Forza. 600 horsepower, 1,300 kilograms. It's pretty balanced, I'm not sure whether it's fast enough. And then finally the TVR Speed 12 with 850 horsepower, really light, and also some rally tyres I think. I'm not really too sure to be honest. So I've gone with the RS6, the first option, and I do want to suggest as well to go a bit off the route that it sets you when you set the destination, kind of come over so you get a bit more of a direct route. And then basically you've just got to floor it. I got a 10-speed gearbox in this one, so it's a bit inconvenient, but as you can see, the speed will hopefully pull me through on this one. I'm hoping it will anyway. So I got 310 metres, I can't remember whether that's enough. No, we need 30 more metres, so it's 340 metres that we need. So this car's more than capable, but because I forgot that it had 10 gears, I had a bit of a dodgy run up, so I'll go ahead and do that again just to prove that it is more than possible. Okay then, so attempt 2, hopefully this time I have got the distance. Yeah, but bruh, like really? I had 370 metres and you just decide to fail me. Yeah, cool. I mean, to be fair, I did get some crazy angle off that jump, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, sure. So I had a bit of a longer run up this time and I sorted out my gears, so as you can see I'm approaching it at 160 mile an hour this time, in 6th gear. This one's a bit flatter, that's better. 388 metres, so that's actually very close to my PB, so and I'm not sure what I did the PB in, but anyway, that proves that this car's more than capable and that most of the cars I suggested will also be capable of completing this as well. Okay then, so the second PR stunt of this week is the Costa Rocosa Speed Zone. For this will get you the number 6 Extreme E vehicle and also 2 points towards the festival playlist. For this one you need anything from B class again. So as you can see here we need 85 miles an hour. It's pretty straight along here and then you've got a corner at the end, like a long corner. You can actually carry more speed around that than you can, but it depends on how much grip you have. I would recommend at least rally tyres, preferably off-road race tyres for this one, and also a decent bit of speed for along the straight as well. So once again, a couple of suggestions from me and then we'll give it a go and hopefully get it first time this time. Okay then, so the first suggestion for this one is the 2017 Ford Focus RS. This is running off-road race tyres, 360 horsepower and weighs just over 1.5 tonnes. It's pretty decent on the straights for a B-class car, and obviously it's really good in the corners. You can full send it with them off-road race tyres and the off-road suspension. Then we also have the Holden Tirana A9X. This is running its stock engine, which is a 5 litre V8 I believe. However, for such a big engine it puts out very little horsepower, so we've only got 340 horsepower. And if you imagine that stock it's C-class, that's not really very impressive. However, it is quite light, only 1.2 tonnes. And again, off-road race tyres help this car to fully send it through the corners. I'm not really sure why you can't see a picture of it. Forza seems to pick one car every week that it doesn't want to show a picture of for the whole video, and this appears to be the one for today. Then we also have the Mercedes-Benz G65 AMG. This is 650 horsepower from its stock V12, 2.5 tonnes. It's very heavy, but the off-road race tyres and the wonderful paint job more than make up for that. Then we also have the Mitsubishi Evo X. This is running 340 horsepower. It's quite heavy for an Evo, but off-road tyres again, the way to play for this one. And that is all of the suggestions, apart from if you want to use the Macan or the Macan LPR, then you can use either of them, but I am going to be going with the Ford Focus. Okay then, so take one. Let's see if we can do it. Not the fastest, but got to remember it's B class, and this is virtually stock, this car, so lovely Hoonigan paint job makes it seem faster than it actually is. Unfortunately it isn't very good at drifting, but as you can see, if you get the angle right and shift down, you can carry a decent proportion of speed through there. 91.13 miles an hour on our first run. We beat that by over 6 miles an hour. I'm not sure whether we actually got 3 stars there as well. Let's just have a quick look. So that run would have also got 3 stars if you're going for 3 stars. So clearly it is a very easy challenge, this one, and if you get that corner right, you'll be able to carry loads of speed through, just like I did. That guy's got the wrong car. It's B class, not S2, mate. Okay then, so moving away from seasonal PR stunts and onto seasonal championships, we have ourselves 2 more Extreme E championships. So the first one is Extreme E Desert Prix 1 and the second is Extreme E Desert Prix 2. One of them is cross country, one of them is dirt racing. Both of them you need A-class Extreme E, and both of them you'll get 5 points. For Pre 1 you'll get the number 125 Extreme E, and for Pre 2 you'll get the Extreme E purple race suit. I haven't completed these in autumn or winter, and I don't plan on completing them this week either. But if you do want to put yourself through the pain, then I have one of the Extreme E cars tuned, which I use for the first week, and that is the number 99 Chip Ganassi Racing Extreme E vehicle, which can be purchased from the auto show for 700,000 credits. However, you can use any of the other ones that you've unlocked throughout the series. If you're wanting to unlock them, then feel free to get them and put a tune on it. But the number 99 Extreme E is the one that I've got tuned, and I can't even be bothered showing it because it's just complete and utter rubbish. And just quickly before we move on from that point, you might be thinking, Shylo, but you've missed quite a few of the Extreme E vehicles because of not completing these championships. Yes, you're very correct, because I'm going to be missing the number 125. I have already missed the number 22 here, and in autumn I missed the number 5. But frankly, I do not care, because if I want to put the paint job on, because it's literally the only difference, the paint job, I will go to the storefront and pretty much guarantee that somebody will have recreated the paint job for me. And I don't really care, to be honest, just because why would I? Okay then, so the third and final championship for this week, if my controller will stop glitching, is the Batteries Included Championship, which will get you 5 points towards the festival playlist and an Infiniti Q60. For this one you'll be racing on road racing, and you'll need a Horizon Special EV from S2 class. So basically any electric vehicle, either stock in S2 class or upgraded to S2 class. It doesn't need to be the top of S2 class, but for the best overall performance, I would recommend tuning it to the top of S2 class, and you'll be racing against highly skilled driver tires, as with the Extreme E championships. Okay then, so depending on if you tuned your Lotus Evija for the Forzathon, you might put an S2 tune on it, or you might have kept it stock, in which it is stock in S2. You might be able to use that. You might want to use an upgraded Porsche Taycan. The Jaguar I-Pace can't get to S2 class, so that's not in the equation. You could use the Razor Tachyon, which you get from 160 points in the whole series. Most of you will have probably got that if you actually completed most of the season, but I didn't because I missed out the Extreme E championships deliberately. Or you could go with my option, the Rimac Concept 2 from 2019. So I already have an X-Class tune for this one because we used it in the Forzathon a couple of weeks ago, but I went ahead and created a separate S2 class tune called S2 EV Churship, just to give it a bit of a code name. So it's running maximum amount of horsepower, that's the stock horsepower, 1900 horsepower. I got the first level of weight reduction because the second level took me into X class. then it's maxed out within all of the categories. You can see 10 out of 10 there. It's got full aero, slick tyres, wheel spacers, rear suspension, all of the goodies. The only thing it's pretty much missing is an extra 200 kilograms off the overall weight. But do be careful, because when you're putting the power down it can quite easily understeer out of the corner, so just be careful when you are coming out of the corners that it doesn't suddenly veer off the road. Once you get used to it, similarly with some of the S1 class cars that are a bit understeery, it is totally fine and it's actually pretty decent to drive. Okay then, so now we move on to the challenges section of the festival playlist, and we'll be starting this section with the treasure hunt hot and sandy. This will get you 3 points towards the festival playlist, and when you smash it you'll also get 100 Forzathon points to put in your bank of Forzathon point collection. And it might go towards a Lotus of Fire. So the treasure clue for this week is EVs blaze through the sand and deliver a gold star rated service. So for this one, to break it down, you need to earn 3 stars on the Sand and Deliver Trailblazer in an electric vehicle. So I'm going to be using the Lotus of Fire just because I've already got it tuned and it's got loads of power. However, you can use any electric vehicle that you want: a Jaguar I-Pace, a Razor Tachyon, a Lotus of Fire, a Rimac, a Porsche Taycan, or any of the other electric vehicles like the Extreme E-cars. You can use any of them to complete this, but I'd recommend the fast one because you do need to get 3 stars, I think. Because it says gold star, you would assume that means 3 stars, but if it's any different, then be sure to let me know in the comments if you do not require 3 stars, if you only require 1 or 2 stars. And you need to go to the Sand and Deliver Trailblazer and get them stars on there, and then it will pop up saying treasure challenge complete, at which point you can return back to the festival playlist. It'll replace this picture here with a little picture of a clue to where the treasure chest is located, and then you'll be able to go ahead and find it. So I'm going to go ahead and complete this clue now, and then I'm going to show you exactly where the chest is located. So if you do not want to see where it is, if you don't want a spoiler, then either pause the video, go and find it yourself now, or you can skip about 30 seconds to a minute to be safe, because I usually get carried away in the video so that you don't get spoiled by it. Okay then, so here is the clue in the festival playlist. So you can see that it's by a house. It looks like it's in a kind of garden area behind a little trailer there. So I'm going to go ahead and drive you exactly to that location now. So if you go where the seasonal championship is, just up here, you're going to want to travel up to here. Just before it, turn right at where this Extreme E sign is, go in here, then travel towards the house, turn right again, and you'll see the chest right in front of you. So if I just show you that on the map right here, so there you go. So you can see it's right by the seasonal championships. That's easily identifiable, and you're just going to smash through it and you'll get yourself 100 Forzathon points and 3 points towards the festival playlist. Okay then, and now we move on to a very simple and self-explanatory photo challenge, hashtag Desert Runner. This wants you to photograph the 2020 Lotus of Fire in the Junus Blancus. So you can see that the treasure hunt, the photo challenge, and then the chapters of the weekly Forzathon and the daily Forzathon can all be combined to kind of do them all at once. So at any point in which you visit the Junus Blancus to complete any of these challenges, just quickly open photo mode, just like I'm going to do now, and take a photo of your Lotus of Fire and get some of the dunes in the background. Mine might not count because I'm not exactly in the dunes, so as you can see mine didn't count because I drove like to the treasure chest. But if you go where we did the danger sign or any of the challenges related to the Forzathon, that will definitely count. I just got a bit off proportion with my photo location there. So this should be a better one. Hopefully this will get it completed. There you go, 2 ticks and the photo challenge completed. 2 points towards the festival playlist and some form of weird car, something or other, unlocked, or clothing. Just rubbish basically, but an easy photo challenge to get completed. Okay then, so the final challenge of this week's festival playlist is the Eliminator. Finish 30th or better. So essentially enter a game in the Eliminator from your Horizon Open tab in your pause menu. and make sure that the driver's left icon in the top left is either 30 or less. At that point, don't quit, because then you're running the risk of it not completing. Just find a pink dot on the map, either let them challenge you or challenge them, and then just basically let them win the race and you'll be eliminated, or you can just play through and get eliminated properly, or win in that case. So that will get you 2 points towards the festival playlist and a Doodle Classic Shades clothing reward. I was skipping my words a bit ahead there, wasn't I? Okay then, and finally is your last opportunity to complete both of the monthly Rivals events. So firstly we have the Forza EV at the Airfield Cross Country Circuit. This is in the auto show version of the Extreme E vehicle, and basically you just need to go around the Airfield Cross Country Circuit and post a clean lap. Same goes for the monthly Rivals at the Tierra Prospera Circuit. This time you'll be in the Porsche 917 LH. Is it the LH version? I'm not sure, but anyway, it's a Porsche 917 retro race car, and for both of these you just need to post a clean lap. You don't need to beat your rival. You can drive around at 10 miles an hour if you want to, just to make sure you get a clean lap. If your lap has an exclamation mark next to it, that means it's dirty. You don't want that, so just avoid using rewind, avoid missing checkpoints, and avoid hitting walls, and you should be absolutely fine. Okay then, so that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support. If you do like these kinds of videos and you want to see them more in the future, then please do subscribe to the channel and help me to progress towards 350 and 400 subscribers. And also, again, a massive thank you for everybody that's contributed to 300 subscribers on the channel. It is a massive milestone, and I honestly didn't think we'd get that far, to be honest, so thank you so much, guys. If this video has been helpful, do subscribe, like I said, and let me know any feedback in the comments. If you're having any issues with anything, I'd be more than happy to help you in the comments, but do just bear in mind, from Monday onwards it might be a bit longer than usual for me to reply, because I will be on holiday, I will be busy, especially on Monday when I'm travelling. It's unlikely that I'll be able to reply to you, but if you leave a comment, then either me or one of my moderators will reply to you. I'm looking to import 1 or 2 moderators to help me while I'm on my holiday to control the channel. So thank you so much for watching once again. Hope it's been helpful, and I'll see you after my holiday. See you guys.